Hey everyone, it's Erin Flutter here, and I'm here ready to set up for 2019. So I have my trusty journal from July 2018 to December 2018 here with me because I prepped using this journal. And then I have my brand new Scribbles That Matter in navy to use for this year. Obviously it's gorgeous. I'm so in love with it. I actually had a journal ready and waiting to use for 2019. I was going to use this gray pro version of the Scribbles That Matter, but I've already used gray, and then I saw these navy ones come out, and my wedding color is actually navy with gold. So I decided that since my wedding is in May and this journal will last me from January to June, I thought that this would be the perfect journal to use setting up for 2019 because it'll just remind me of my wedding coming up the whole time I have this. So I'm really excited about it. I just want to go ahead and show you the prep that I did before I go ahead and jump on in. This is my normal prep. I usually like to swatch out some color options. I decided to go with Tombow 555, and then I decided to use the Starry color palette from Kuretake. And even though my wedding color is a little bit closer to this blue gold, I decided to use champagne gold because I liked how those went together. So I decided to go with those two, and then I have my pages to keep, pages to lose, pages to change, pages to add, based on what I've done in the front of this journal, which you can see here. And then I decided to put in the order, and you guys can go ahead and see my pre-planning. I have 6 pages that I will be setting up in this video. I'll have a separate video for the quarterly goals, and then the other video is going to be the January plan with me, and I covered this up with washi a little bit because that is the theme and I'm not ready to unveil that yet. So you'll see a whole bunch of spreads coming up here shortly. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get started and speed you up, put some music on, and then I'll see you on the flip side. Okay, so that is it for this part of my setup. So I kept things very, very simple and minimalistic for this front page right here. I really wanted to do that because that's kind of a theme of my wedding, as well as a little bit more minimalistic. So I thought that that would be nice to do that. And then my plan is for the events that show up on here to mark with a little gold bit, and I'll show you an example because I know one of the dates. It is going to be my wedding. So I'll go ahead and show you what I mean by that. So when that dries, you can see through it a little bit more, and I will go ahead and just mark over it with my Tombow drawing pen. I think that'll look nice. I don't necessarily know if I need to mark over it, but if I need to, then I will. So my whole 2019 at a glance. Now I have to wait for that to dry, so I'll set this aside and keep going right after it dries. Okay, so now that little piece is dry, but you get the idea. I'm just going to splotch out the events probably for the first 6 months at least. I do have a good idea of the dates for the second 6 months as well, so I might go ahead and put those in, even though I'm referencing something that I won't be putting in yet in my journal. So this is where I would do it on this events page. So I have January, February, March, April, May, and June here for my events. This is a much smaller scale than what I did before, and I'll go ahead and show you that. So this was how I did my events, birthdays, anniversaries, all that, holidays, all that kind of stuff. That's how I did it in here for the 6 months. So I wanted to condense it a little bit because I put this at a glance here, which I didn't do on my second 6 months of 2018. So I needed a place for both at a glance and the events. So because I have this page, I don't need to put the little calendar here. So I condensed it to one page, and then I have this section for in the future where I can put dates that I know about for future events. For example, my friend is getting married in October, so I'll have Holly's wedding and then the date that they sent out for the save the date. So those are the types of events for the future so I kind of put it in the middle so I can have for the rest of 2019, and then for 2020, if any random dates come up here, then I can put 2020 in that section. The next page I have is Countdown to I Do, which I kept from my last one. And then I just have a Things on My Mind section, important dates. And then I think I might have another section for like payments and things like that. But these are the two things that is really important. I do have a wedding bullet journal, which you'll be seeing a video coming out probably in January for an update of what's going on in my wedding bullet journal. But when I am out and about at work, whatever, I don't necessarily keep my wedding bullet journal with me. That stays in my apartment. So I need a section in my bullet journal where I can just jot things down when I'm thinking about them. And then I have this little countdown for weeks left because there are 18. My wedding is on the 18th week. So I have from 17 to 0. And I'll just splotch it out with some golds while I do my little countdown. The next page I have is an Etsy tracker, which I don't really know why I did this for 12 months now that I think about it, because this is only going to be for 6 months, and I'll have to transfer it later, but that's fine. So some things I do make me laugh. So I'll put the number over here. I'm not sure if I want to do the total amount in sales or how many sales. I think I'll probably do the total amount so that they're both dollar figures between the sales and the expenses. And I've given myself 2 columns for each month. So January will have 1 bar for sales, which will be the blue bar, and then 1 bar for expenses, which will be the gray bar, which I'm using $5.55 and, if I can find it, N65 for those 2 colors. So it's a pretty simple bar graph, just to make sure that I'm not doing too much expenses for my business versus sales for my business. I might also have a 3rd color in here for adding on YouTube, which I do get money from for the ads and stuff like that. But this is Etsy tracker, so I don't know. I'm going to play with it. And then I have an ideas page, which I wasn't going to use for this notebook, but then I figured out that this would only be 1 page, so I just want to have like an idea to sketch things out. Mostly just a brained up page for my Etsy shop, but other stuff will probably end up on this page when I have ideas. And then the last one is a social media growth tracker. Really, the 2 platforms that I care about are Instagram and YouTube. Now, I had this in not my last bullet journal, but the bullet journal before, and it just really was underwhelming because I wasn't doing a great job at Instagram or YouTube at that point. So I wasn't having a lot of growth. Now that I'm having some growth, it'll be nice to actually be able to fill things out. So based on whatever amount I have at the end of December, I'll go ahead and fill in the next whatever 1,000, and then probably go by like 2,000 or 5,000 or something like that. Maybe 1,000 for YouTube because I don't grow that much on YouTube. But Instagram, I've been growing a lot. So thank you all for following me over on Instagram. And so I'll swatch it out with some gold because I can't get enough of the gold. And then over here I have a YouTube Friday video schedule. If there are any videos that you want to see, come here, cat. Sorry in advance for the noises that my cat is making. If there are any videos that you want to see coming up here, like the 10 cleaning trackers, the 10 expense trackers, those 10 types of videos, or if you want to see things like a desk tour or something like that, let me know in the comments below, because I'm going to go ahead and start pre-planning my Friday video schedule, because my Friday videos are different every week versus my Monday videos that are always my weekly bullet journal. So let me know what types of things you want to see so that I can go ahead and start pre-planning some of those things. I don't know how video stuff is going to work during the month of May, because I will be obviously getting married, and then I am taking a pretty long honeymoon, almost 2 weeks for my honeymoon. So I might have to pre-plan those and pre-film and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to have to work ahead, but it all depends, because I'm doing all the signage for my wedding, all the place cards, all that type of stuff. So it's really going to depend on how things are going for that planning process. So those are my general things. Now, you guys know that I don't do a great job of coming back to these pages. So my goal is like at least once a month to make sure I'm coming back to these pages for my annual, and I will be trying to come back more than that, but I'm gonna have a task once a month on the first of the month to make sure that I'm coming back and reviewing these pages, because I am not great at coming back to my annual trackers. It's one of the reasons why I barely had any before, and you saw that I barely filled them out. So, but these pages I can see being useful to me, so I really do need to use them a little bit more. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you like this navy and gold theme, and you better, because that is the theme of my wedding. So if you don't, then just don't say anything. If you do, let me know in the comments below if you like it. I will see you next Friday with a continuation for the goal planning, and then again for the January plan with me. I'm not sure which is coming first out of those two. So between those two, those are the next 2 weeks worth of Friday videos. So thank you guys for joining me for this video, and I will see you on Monday. Have a great one, everyone. Bye.